Greetings. So today I'm going to speak about you becoming a better version of you. Now, what I'm going to be speaking about is when you feel you have been kept in a prison, mental prison or physical prison, mainly mental, which affects the physical, that you can make the changes for you to become a better version of you. Therefore, we place blame. So let me get into a bit more detail after the intro. I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Greetings, welcome back. My name is Jay. I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So I apologize about my attire. I've just kind of like woken up, so I'm really excited and I've got so much to share with you guys that this year is going to be about transformation for me and transformation for Karnak. Obviously, as I grow, Karnak will grow. So as I said from the beginning, at the beginning of the intro, I said about where we get ourselves trapped and we blame other people for our own failures to progress and grow forward or grow and grow bigger. I'm going to touch upon that and how you can release that without holding the blame and also without holding blame on yourself. So forgiving others and forgiving yourself for you to move forward and becoming a better version of you. But first, I don't know if everyone remembers Jack and Ori, but I was gonna say, here's a story about Jack and Ori, but here's a quick story. So probably about 7 years ago, no, even longer than that, but 7 years ago, I really, really wanted to be in amateur dramatics, right? Something I was really passionate about. I was really something I focused upon, and I was just, to be honest and kind of vulnerable with you guys, I was shit scared. I was like, I don't think I was strong enough to do it. I don't think I had the balls to like stand on stage or play a certain character. Long story short, I became a counsellor and I worked with this young guy, about 17, and he was kind of trapped within himself he was a young Indian guy, and he, again, felt trapped by his family. And he wanted to go off and be an actor. His dad supported him. His mum sadly passed away. His dad supported him. So he went on to, we worked together, and he went on to find a drama school. And because I felt at that time, with obviously a lot of the work we did, that he was being trapped because he couldn't express himself. And I said, well, one of the things you could do, have you thought about acting? And he said, I have, because he goes, I feel I want to just let this thing out. This type of person inside me out. So anyway, he went off to look for an acting school and he found one. He's doing really well. Last time I spoke to him, probably about 4 years ago, he was doing really well, and he's an actor. So my point goes back to what I'm saying, but go back to where I'm at. I wanted to be in amateur dramatics. Can't believe I got that word out right. And with my own process was that I was trying to get approval from the people around me. Yeah, the people in my circles to egg me on to kind of like go, well, I'm going to do it just in case I failed. Yeah. And one of my biggest flaws I always used to complain about was that I'm dyslexic. Now, that isn't a failure. It isn't something that should hold you back. I suffered from it. It got even worse when I had my stroke. But long I put in place, and if you are in the same situation, so I'm talking as if I'm talking to you and giving you advice, because I'm talking about from where I was at. So if I'm talking about me, I'm talking about you. So I put in place, I spoke to the people that were running it, and were running whatever I do, and explained my situation and that I needed just a little bit more support. But the minute they found out, they were really good. They really supported me on it, and I flourished. If I didn't tell them, admit it, guys, if you're dyslexic, we always have to work twice as hard to try and understand what the actual process would be. Depends on what kind of spectrum of dyslexia you have, because you could be on different ways of thinking. You may need your writing to be on coloured card, for example. I didn't need that, but yet one of my friends do. Anyway, so now, as I was going through my last relationship, I pulled it up and she laughed. And then I said, why'd you laugh? She said, you on stage acting. I said, yeah. And she was like, I couldn't see you doing that. So there I was like, okay, I'm kind of like, well, that's out the window. And I know what you're going to say. I'm going to explain that in a minute. So I kind of like put it on the wayside. So I just, in more so, when someone tells me I can't do it, I'll go off and I'll go and do it anyway. So I made inquiries and I left it for a couple of years, as I do. I always do that, make inquiries and then it just snowballs. Anyway, and anyway, recently I split from my ex last year. So thought about it over Christmas. So it's now January. I got in touch with a theatre school. And amazingly, when everything through law of attraction, through God's grace, things just happen, they got in touch with me and said, we've got an amazing part for you, which won't happen until later in the year, which is good, gives me enough space to probably do a couple of gigs and to get my motivation up to play in a part. So I got a script and I'm so bloody excited. I was so excited. And the first thing I wanted to do is let my kids know. And there's 2 points to this. I owe this to 3 people. Myself, because it's time for me to step up and step forward and do a dream. Though to a lot of people think it's this amateur dramatics, but to me, it's a big thing. To be able to express myself through dialogue from somebody else and bring character to this is amazing. I'm looking forward to doing that. Secondly, I feel I need to get out my comfort zone because my kids, my 2 boys, Jordan and Josh, be watching what I do, how I shine, how I don't go through things. They never ever blame. In fact, they support, but they will take note and they will make their own challenges in their life. And I know, because my dad didn't make massive shifts apart from coming to the country, but he didn't necessarily make massive shifts in the UK to bet his life. He just stayed in a normal job. That's fine. That's how he wanted to live. He stayed in a dead-end job and then retired. But he could have been so much more. He started his own business, but he didn't really grow to anything massive, but it could have been. So I try to be one better. This is what my parents always wanted me to be. So when I'm doing something, I know my kids are watching, but there's also somebody else that is going to be watching. They may not be watching. They'll be watching their dad, but he'll be watching his grandpa, which is Chase. So even more so, it's putting me out in up front to go, you know what? I want Chase, he'll be old enough to recognize what I'm doing, to come along to the show and go, there's my grandpa, and to say how proud he is of me, you know? And I know he would be, but it's just to know that this young boy, who I put his picture up here, is an inspiration to me, has been my inspiration since he's been born 6 months ago. And now this is like perpetuated me forwards and helped me to open doors and say it's okay to do this. Now, when I said remember I said earlier about forgiving and moving forward and so on. So you're forgiving and then you forgive others and yourself to move forward. I don't blame people in my past for kind of like saying I would never do it, because even before that, there's people I knew and people around me at that time thought it was a crazy idea. When you're going to have the time, don't you think you got enough things to do? So I don't blame them. I do blame myself, but I do blame them in a way because they should have been more supportive. But that's fine. It's irrelevant. But I do blame myself above all for not believing in myself and proving them wrong until it got to a point to where this need and it became an urgency and it was a part of my growth. So in that sense, I've begun to forgive my self. And when I begin to forgive myself is when things start to shift. And now this play, whether it happens or not, is really exciting for me. It's really exciting for me. And I want to tell you guys that if there's something you want to do that is out of the ordinary and you want to strive for your goals, as long as it's safe, as long as it's legal, go for it. Go for it. You know, Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, had, I think it was over 200 or even to 500 inventions that were failed. And can you imagine when he said to somebody in the 18th century, I'm going to make a communication using this device and this device so we can talk in other parts of the world, whatever. Then, can you imagine it? The Wright brothers, who invented the plane, who successfully invented the planes, said, I'm going to invent something where we can fly to different countries. People must have thought, yeah, okay, you're a bit doolally, and thought you ain't going to get there. I can't remember his name, the black guy, inventor of the gas mask. He created a gas mask so we can go into a smoking room to get people out, to keep us safe. They must have thought, just don't go in there. End of. But he was like, no. The traffic lights again, invented by a black man, but beside the point, had a 3 level tier of control or direction. Red, stop, amber, wait, and green, go. I mean, simple as, right? Don't have frustrating you get to the traffic lights and you get a bit annoyed because they turn amber, then go to red. There you go. It's there for a reason. It stopped people from dying. So, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? As Les Brown says, and I quote him a lot, Les Brown says, make sure if you fall down, you fall on your back. Because hell, you got to get back up. Because there is nothing that's going to stop you from getting up. If you land on your back, you can always get back up again. And Eric Thomas, the rapping preacher, also the hip hop preacher, says, there is no other fool but your own fool. And the own fool is you not believing in you. And he goes, there's no one who can stop you but you. So he is one, which is amazing. I think this guy's amazing. He failed to be a doctor 12 times. Could you imagine it? He went to study. The hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas, amazing guy. If you can get his videos on YouTube, listen to the guy. He went to study to be a doctor 12 times, right? And can you imagine the first time I failed? Okay, second, third year, 6 times, family again. Well, you know what? You failed 6 times before. I don't care. 7 times. You failed 7 times. 10 times. They goes, look, at the end of the day, don't even tell me, because clearly you're going to fail. But he, on his 12th time, he was successful. He says it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you arrive. And he arrived 12 times later. Another woman who graduated as a lawyer, she was 75 for crying out loud. A lawyer, 75. She said she always wanted to do it, but she was more loyal to her husband. When her husband died, she went off to study law. And then she graduated as a lawyer a few years ago. So she may not go and practice, but she did achieve it. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that don't let people cloud your judgment. Don't let people dictate to what you want to be. Because you are as only good as what your actions are. And if your actions are being controlled by other people, you're always going to be stuck in this rut. And you are not going to get anywhere. So with me, though, I'm a bit nervous. I'm scared, but it's an exciting nervousness. It's still early days, but I wanted to kind of put this out there to you guys. I can't really go into details about what it is, but I'm just saying to you that I'm going to be getting into acting, and if anything comes up, I'll let you guys know. So if you want to come along to support us. But I'm really excited and I can't wait. So yeah, and I think what inspired me above all is going to Stratford-upon-Avon, where William Shakespeare was born, and experiencing the ghosts that were there, proper ghosts, I'm not joking, smells along this step of strong ale. There was no ale around. There was no beer around. But on the step, not just I smoked it, but my ex smoked it. Smelt it as well as we walked down these stairs, and it was just upstairs. And it wasn't the same we was thinking of. So how can we both smell the same smell if we weren't thinking of it? And the same smell. Because I goes, can you smell that? And she was like, yeah, I can. And I goes, it's not beer, is it? She goes, no, it's ale. She used to drink a lot. And I goes, yeah, that's its ale. I can remember the name. Ale, yeah, because it's an old beer smell, you know, like in them old inns you would go into with the jugs. So, yeah, so experiencing William Shakespeare where he lived, and then listening to Othello, I've got an audiobook, and some of his plays inspired me. And the other guy who's inspirational to me, gotta make sure you get his name right, James Earl Jones, who plays Darth Vader's voice. He had a really good segment, and if I can find it, I'll put it here.
How come you ain't never liked me?
Liked you? Who in the hell ever said, I got to like you? What law is there to say, I got to like you? Do you want to stand up in my face and ask me some damn fool-ass question like that? Talk about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, goddammit. Ask your question. What law is there to say, I got to like you?
None.
All right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
Nigga, as long as you living in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
And clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me. Why do you think that is?
Because you like me?
Like you. I go out of here every morning and bust my butt putting up with them crackers all day long because I like you. You is the biggest fool I ever saw. It is my job. It is my responsibility. You understand that? A man got to take care of his family. You live in my house. You sleep your behind on my bedclothes. You put my food in your belly because you are my son. You are my flesh and blood, not because I like you. It is my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. Wait now. Let's get this straight right now. We'll go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand, don't give me my money come payday because he liked me. He give me because he owe me. Now, I didn't give you everything I had to give you. I gave you your life. Your mama and me worked it out between us. And liking your black ass was not a part of the bargain, and don't you try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not. You best make sure that they are doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying, boy?
Yes, sir.
Then you get the hell out of my face and going down under A&P.
And it's about expression of oneself or one in character to transform yourself to be something else, to play this energy and along with your cast, you know, and believing in the actual play. So anyway, that's enough of me going on. When things unfold, I'll let you know. Yeah, I thank you guys for your time. And remember, don't let people cloud your judgment. Follow your heart, follow your gut. Your gut's normally always right. And stay blessed, stay safe. God bless. And I'll see you on the next video. And namaste.